Welcome to Open Talk and Run.
I am Rochelle, aka Coach Red.
Coach E. I'm the director of the Arkansas Bulldawgz, and just happy to be here.
What's up, this Coach Drew?
What's up? It's Coach Pip.
What's going on? This is Coach Marcus.
What's up, everybody? This your boy Coach E with the Arkansas Bulldawgz, and I'm here with.
Coach Drew.
And we want to just start off by saying thank you for tuning in with us today, and we just excited about just popping this show out, man. I think this is gonna be something positive, and we just trying to do something new and set the tone for Arkansas high school basketball. Yeah, so Coach Drew, how you feeling today mentally?
Mentally, I'm in a good space. I kind of, I don't know. I'm in a good space, but the news about Brittany Griner just kind of hit. That whole situation about her getting moved to a more aggressive prison in Russia. So that's kind of tough on anybody in women's sports right now. Any black person, anybody, period, is following the situation. That's a tough situation to watch what's happening to her, but she pushing through, and I'm sure her family pushing through that, but that's gonna be tough on anybody mentally. So just kind of prayers out to her and her family, and thinking about what's that doing to her mentally to be in that situation, and then even when she come back, what's that gonna look like for her.
So they moved her today?
Nah, they haven't moved her yet, but they made the announcement that she was gonna be transferring to a different prison in Russia, which is supposed to be a more harsh prison conditions than what she already in. And just being black and a gay woman in Russia is just not a good look all around.
Oh, it's interesting that you would bring that up. Mental health, and just thinking about the importance of it in sports, not only in life but in sports. Give me your point. Give me your point of view on how important mental health is in basketball, how it affects athletes, and decision making and things like that.
Me personally, I just feel like you can't perform at your best level as an athlete if your mental's not there. It's hard to focus on what you need to do on the court and be present in the space that you're in, and have the mental capacity to deal with all the variables that's going on around you already on the court, from the teammates, the fans, the coaches, all things together, especially if you already at a bad mental space. So just thinking about it in life, if you in a bad place mentally and nobody's yelling at you or telling you to do this or do that, or having expectations for you to do things a certain way, or it's no pressure. So that mental space of not having that pressure and then adding on that pressure on top of that, that's just something that I think that if you're not in a good space mentally, it's going to be very hard for you to be productive on the court or on the field or whatever sports you play in, any sport. So mentally, as a coach, as a former player and as a coach, I think the mental aspect is the most important aspect of a player.
So with that being said, sometimes we notice players use basketball or sports period as an out to help them cope with mental health. So from your point of view, what can we do as coaches or maybe parents, or we'll just stay on the coaches, what can we do to help kids who might have mental health issues? What can we do to identify these things and different things? Like what do you feel like that we as coaches could do, especially as summer and spring ball coaches?
I think like this one is it's a difficult one for me. Just being transparent as a coach, it's a difficult one for me because it gets to a point where you draw the line between coaching and just being a human being and relating to the kids. And so at some point you got to take the coach's hat off and just go into the aspect of this is a child or this is just another human being, and mentally they can't handle that. So as a coach, once you take that hat off, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with because you start looking at it from a different lens instead of what I need you to do. It's more like, what do you need from me in this aspect? So having certain kids that are already in high stress situations and high stressed environments and being able to bring them down from those moments where they already have pressure on themselves to be great or for whatever reason, whether it's a parent or their own expectations for themselves. But taking them out of that situation and just being able to bring them down to another level and say, okay, it's a mistake. Leave that mistake where it's at and let's move forward. Sometimes that's hard to do, but as a coach, you just have to figure out how to do that with your kids. And that just come from getting to know the kids, having a relationship with the parents, and then especially having a relationship with the parents because we're not there 24/7. I don't know that they mama just died or they dad just died or a uncle or they had a friend that they having a tough time at school. You know, that stuff we don't know. So if the parent don't come and say, and it don't have to be a big thing. It could just be let me know, hey, she might have a tough time at practice today. Or if I see that she's struggling or he's struggling at practice and I come to you as a parent and say, hey, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Just being able to be transparent with me, not because I want to be in their business. Because, I mean, honestly, it's not about being in their business. It's just in order for me to do my job, I got to know how I need to be coming at your child. Like, I probably can't do my regular, Coach Drew, what you doing? I need you here if you already had a rough day today. So, yeah.
So I know what's funny is me and you have like two different coaching philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very different.
Yeah, like we do the good cop, bad cop thing.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, well, let me reword that. In most situations, you don't have the good cop, bad cop to bring balance. So with you being a little more aggressive one, what does that look like? Drawing, knowing where to draw the line, and in what ways do Coach Drew be somewhat still Coach Drew, but at the same time trying to be, more easier on the kid.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But at the same time, because of course you can't run the practice, different as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So give me some of your examples of Coach Drew identifying a problem, knowing that you have a kid or a student athlete that's going through some things, but you still maintaining who you are and being consistent as, the Pet Summit type coach.
I think it's just, like I said, knowing your players and trying to figure out what they need from you. If I know I have a player that's already somebody that's gonna get down on themselves about missing the first 3 layups of the game, I know that in that moment, you know that you missed those first 3 layups, so I don't need to get on you about missing the layups. I'm getting on to you more so now of I need your head in the game.
Yeah.
You might be having a bad offensive game, but how can you help me? Just one example, I had one particular kid that happened in the middle of a tournament. She was just having an off game offensively, but once we talked and I talked to her and I told her this is what I need you to do, and I gave her a specific defensive task. And she went out there and was probably the best defensive player that she's been throughout the year.
So you cut down what you asked of her and kind of gave her one thing that she could succeed in?
Not really cut down my expectation. It's more of giving her something to measure her success off of that I know that's achievable. Like, you can control the amount of shots you miss or make. That's true by correcting form and all that. But at this level of where these kids are, or some of the kids are that we've coached, that's not a thing yet. So I know you can't measure how great of a player or how great of a game you are based off of your miss or made shots.
Right.
So I had to give you something that you can measure your game off. If I tell you to go get 3 rebounds, you can do that. You determine how many rebounds you get off of your effort and what you get out there and do.
Oh yeah, especially about a number like that.
Yeah,
You
something
can,
like
in
that.
the whole game, you got
Yeah, like I need you to this quarter go out there and I need 5 offensive rebounds and then I need 3 steals off of you.
Yeah.
You can go out there and do that. That's achievable. Especially if I know you having a bad offensive game, you're gonna give me 110 on defense.
Gotcha.
So kind of just changing my expectation, and then in a practice sense, so I deal with different age groups. So I do have my younger group that I train with as well, and for that age group, there's 7 and 8 year olds, 7 through 10. And for that group, we do have a moment where if we having a practice and it's chaotic and mentally they not there, I will sit them down because at that age, y'all need to talk. Like we can't go do nothing else. Let's talk about y'all day. So I'll sit them down and ask them, what's going on, how y'all day going, and at that age, they're pretty transparent and really honest. Yeah, like,
you got parents
I wanted my daddy
nervous.
to come play with me today, and he didn't play with me today. He said he had to do something else. Oh, okay, that's something we can work on.
Yeah.
Like, we could talk about that. For the older kids, it might be, I might not have you running plays today. Let me see you down there with Coach E, and you're a little bit more lighthearted with him, and y'all might be working on something less intense.
Don't say lighthearted. the boys team might be watching. I don't want them to get
with my
twisted.
girls, you're a little bit more daddy Coach E. Yeah. So you go into daddy mode, and with you're a little more liable to coddle them a little bit more than I am.
Fact.
I'm more like let me send you down there where you can get the help, even if I'm not the one that can help you.
Where you
with
can
it.
be tolerated.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the whole mental health thing for me is very important, but that's why I kind of like embrace being a good cop, because it's like I do understand as a coach that you're not gonna be able to pacify everybody,
right?
So that's why I feel like it's important doing my role is, all right, Coach Drew, you do your thing, and then we'll kick it and laugh with them over here, but at the same time, man, this mental health thing. It's so many aspects to it. I know it can go down to the relationship with the coaches and the parent. It go, just a lot of things. So how important do you feel like it is for coaches and parents to have, like, do you feel like all parents and coaches should have some type of open form of communication? Or is it just we can kind of do without you? Like, how do you feel like that affects the mental health of a kid? Because I've seen a lot of kids get torn. The coaches say this, the parents say this. They don't, they don't know who to respect. Well, of course they're gonna respect their parent, but it's
who to listen to.
Yeah, who to listen to. Yeah.
I think in order for anything to work, it's a cliche saying, but like they say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Facts,
you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So I think in order for anything like that to work, anything where you trusting me with your baby or you trusting me with your child to help instill values and be able to ensure their safety with me. Yeah. Safety doesn't always mean physical harm. Like, just mentally, that's the same kind of safety.
Facts.
So providing that safety, in order for me to do that, we got to be on the same page. You got to be able to talk to me. I got to be able to talk to you. If I don't feel comfortable telling you that, hey, your baby had a bad practice today because of fear that you're going to get on to them and make the situation worse, then that's a problem. Or if you don't feel comfortable coming to me because you think that I'm going to be hard on them or I'm not going to take it serious that they having a bad day, then that's a problem. So it definitely got to be a open line of communication for everybody in the picture, the kid, the parent, whether the kid feel comfortable talking to the parent and the parent bringing it to me or vice versa. It has to be a open line of communication. So
do you feel like that's something that most organizations, do you feel like that's a mark that they miss? Because, you go to a lot of practices and other things, you'll see the kid come here with the coach to practice. Then when they leave, the kid go to the car. You get what I'm saying? And then usually time when the coach and the parent do interact, it's always about issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if they had came together in the beginning and talked, and we all both had our expectations, and there was some type of communication during the season when things were good, just throughout, everything, it will help. It will benefit the team a lot better. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, the only time parents and coaches interact is when they're clashing, or when they want to address a problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I agree. I feel like that's an easy mark to miss. I feel like it's a mark that we've missed before within our organization. Me personally as a coach, I feel like it's a mark I've missed before, not understanding the importance of that, especially early on, really getting into the beginning stages of me being in coaching. In my mind, it's just like, I just want to deal with the kids. I don't want to deal with the parents, because the stereotype is that with parents, it's always an issue. Like it's always like you can never please them. So in my head coming in, it was just like, you deal with the parents, I'm gonna deal with the kids.
Yeah.
But that became like a problematic situation.
Yeah,
when it
because
comes
it was
to
like
issues.
a power struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come talk to me. Yeah, so yeah. But I do feel like mental health is more of an environmental thing, if that's the correct wording. So I feel like all those things come into play, because we should be working together to build that child and create a positive environment for them to flourish mentally and physically, skill-wise. So I do feel like that's a mark that we do miss, and I do feel like a lot of organizations, including ours, do need to do a better job of having a steady, open line communication with our parents.
I agree with that. I recently listened to a podcast. It was J.Ill podcast, but it's Jill Scott podcast.
Yeah.
And they had one of the co-hosts, teenage daughter, come on there, and they were basically talking to her about like what makes her feel safe. And I think that's something we can take away as parents, as coaches, as adults, period, is they were basically saying that we have to talk to the kids more to understand them. And I think probably in the beginning of the season, it should be a period of nothing basketball related, nothing sports related, just going out and talking to the kids, or just having that time where it's like free space to figure out what makes them feel safe. Like what's safe to you, because what is safe to me and what make me feel safe not going to be the same at 29 to somebody that's 13, 14.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so like,
and everybody didn't grow up in the same environment.
Right. Right, so it might be safe to you to walk on the street at night at 9 o'clock when it starts. But to me, I don't feel safe doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
like, what
just
is going on here?
Yeah, like, nah, hold on.
Yeah.
So it's just like understanding basically what safety looks like for these kids, and just getting to understand their mental, I think, is the most important part. But for you, just like as a black man and a coach, and you're coaching both girls and boys, like, what does that look like, and what do you think the difference is when it comes to the boys versus the girls, as far as how you show up and how you support when you feel like it's a mental thing, or is it a difference?
I'm gonna be very honest and transparent. The only difference between boys and girls is how I view them from a personal standpoint. And I look at girls as they just so little and so soft. I just love them.
And that's why you the good cop.
Yeah, but then when I look at these boys, I see me in them. I see my sons in them. And I mean, my daughter got me wrapped around her finger. So, I look at girls different, because it's like, I can't holler at you. Like my daughter, I don't have to whoop her. I just raise my voice and
she crumble.
And my son? So it's like when I look at these young men, I see me. And I handle them different. And sometimes I don't really think about the mental health issue that might play a factor in whatever they going through. I look at, you just hard-headed, or you ain't had any guidance, or, I don't want to say bad, but you're a product of your environment. So I can be a little hard on, I can. And that's something I need to work on. But I do try to do one-on-ones. I do try to see what's going on. But, a lot of times they might not feel comfortable telling you. So I can work on being more consistent to figure out. So the difference is how I view 'em. And, you know, with the girl, I be like, oh, man, Coach Drew making them run. With the boy, say,
10
man,
more.
I need you to hit 10 more because I only can raise these, and I hate to say raise, but as a coach, I only can mold and sculpture these boys the way I view being a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes, I mean, it is. You only can look at things how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm rough on them and I'm doing this and I might say a few cuss words and I'm saying, hey, stop crying, you know, I do need to take a break and say what's affecting this young man.
Yeah.
Because I have had one, I done had a couple. You know, my track record pretty good with kids liking me. But I have had a couple who looked at me like, man, dude, tripping. And I do need to I need to dial back on it. I do need to implement some of the things I implement with the girl. I need to, you know, bring it to the boys' side. So the way it don't look that good.
But I do
because
feel
they
like
get two different people, they get like two different completely people. Like even with the boy, I joke, I laugh, I play, but I don't have that much tolerance for a lot of the foolishness with boys.
Yeah.
Like I done had refs and other coaches tell me like, bro, I heard you way outside when you coaching the boys. So I don't know, man. I don't want to see no girl feeling hurt.
But I feel like that's big though. Like I think it's a good thing that you're being transparent about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a common thing when it comes to boys versus girls. Like, and I think it show up in how we see sports evolve as far as girls sports and especially girls basketball. It's a big decline in girls basketball right now.
Yeah.
Versus boys, like we expect our boys to push through. You hurt, push through that. Like you having a bad day, you got to suck it up. Nobody outside of this gonna care that you having a bad day, and that's true. Out in the world, nobody will care that they having a bad day. But how do we make it where, although that might be true out in the world, and I'm trying to help mold you for the world, I need you to know that this is a safe place to have a bad day. Like,
and I do try to provide that safe place.
mm-hmm.
What word I'm looking for? Safe place, feel. But what I will say is, even as a young black adult, it's hard for me to kind of like see the difference between a behavior problem and a bad day. And it's like sometimes it gets so blurry. They might be having a bad day, but I identify it as you just disrespectful.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So,
right.
I mean, that's a great question. Let's segue to this. How as we coaches can identify, what do you think we should do to kind of like take the time to figure out, do this child just have a behavior problem? Because behavior problem don't always mean a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just a product of whatever you being raised or your environment. How do we be able to differentiate the difference between that and a mental health issue? Somebody just going through something that's wearing and tearing them down, because in our culture, they like to say that our environment is a mental health issue. And I don't want to get too deep in that, but that's the norm for us.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think we can do to try to like pick out what's the difference between a culture thing and just this child is just there's some mental health issues there. What do you think we can do?
I mean, I don't know. I think we just got to pay more attention to our kids. Like,
yeah. I mean, but we only have them for 4 hours a week.
That's true.
And then we getting them at middle school as of right now.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think that's true. Like, that's another issue is that I think that anytime you're running a sports organization, it's got to go beyond the 2 hours that you have them in practice.
Right.
Like, it got to go beyond that. I've watched one of our parents break through to a kid before just by talking to them. Like, at the beginning of the season, this kid probably would have hauled off and hit you in your mouth for fouling them too hard.
Yeah.
And then after a parent just constantly talking to them and investing in them and then coming back to us and helping us more so understand how to break through to the kid, and then we going back in there and when we get back in the gym saying, hey, come here, let me pull you to the side. This is what I need you to do. you still got to give me these 30 push-ups for what you did, but let me give you a different way to channel that energy and a different way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that the first step is going beyond the 2 hours of practice.
Yeah.
It's hard because we got our life. We coaches. You know what I'm saying? We don't get paid for this. This just something we volunteer to do. So
Facts.
it's hard when that's the case, but when you really care about the kids and you're really passionate about it and you really want to make a difference in these kids' life, you got to find a way to reach them outside of that practice area.
Yeah.
And it might be like we do going to games, like being able to go to these kids' games when they're playing high school ball and middle school ball, and not being in the coaching setting and them seeing us and running up and giving us hugs and, you know, telling us about just regular conversations about their day and how their day doing. That kind of stuff, I think that showed them that I do care. You more than just an athlete to me. Like, you more than just the summer ball player that I need you to be. I want you to be successful. When I say that I want you to be successful off this court, I really mean that. So taking those times to show up for those kids outside of the 2 hours of practice, I think that's the big start to discovering, okay, now that I see you in this other setting where it's no pressure and you still struggling, this might be something deeper than what I think is happening in practice.
Well, so that's why with the organization we try to implement the Wednesday mentorship program. We didn't buy shoes for kids. We didn't buy clothes for kids. We didn't took them to basketball games. We didn't did a lot for to try to do those things. But at some point, we as coaches, we need breaks. And some of these kids, they hard to crack. Like, you want to almost move them in with you to, like, build their relationship. So it's like, that leads me to my next question. Mental health for a coach, establishing these relationships with these kids, losing these kids, changes, being attached to them, taking on their problems. What are some of your thoughts on what can a coach do to prevent them checking out? Because, you know, we check out. Every coach I know checks out somewhere. Like, that summer can become, especially when you start in the spring. It's like you've been playing basketball for 30 months. 30 months. And it's going to be, it's tough. Like, these kids they start to become like your own. Like, every girl I had last year, or we had, and every boy, I actually love them kids.
Right.
Like, I shared stuff with them about me that I don't share with a lot of people. Like, they became a family, you know, even with the girls when we went out of town. Staying up with them and making sure that they have a good time, then walking them to they, you know, that was a risk for a man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just knowing that you had that trust from their parents and you want to provide this experience for these kids. Like, some of these kids, we was their first time taking them outside of Little Rock. And it's like, man, that can wear on you because you start getting attached, you invested, and it's like, kids get older, or, you know, things happen where you lose them, or, you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things. So as a coach, what are some of the things you done to prevent you from checking out and making sure that your mental health is, you know, stay close to 100 as possible?
Just giving myself grace to understand that I am a coach, but before I'm a coach, I'm a human. So I might have a bad day. And on those bad days, I might need to come to you and say, hey, I can't run practice today. I'm going to let you take the lead, and I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to pitch in when I need to and help out when I need to. So just allowing myself grace to understand that I'm human and that I might need space. I might need to take time away in order to be the best version of me for them, because I can't help them if I'm not in a good space. If I'm messed up mentally, it's nothing that I can get to these kids. It's nothing that I can tell you if I don't believe in myself. Like, if I'm at a space where I'm ready to give up and I'm trying to tell you, don't give up. I can't tell you why not to. I can't tell you what's is worth living, because I don't feel like it's worth living. So just like understanding that, you know, I'm human. I might need to take a break and just give myself space. Finding a hobby outside of coaching. I like outdoors, so sometimes I would go spend just hours outside painting or go hiking or something like that. Just time to myself, space where it's no expectations, where I don't have to be in coach mode, where I'm not in a role model position, where I can
you can mess up freely.
Right, and then also being able to connect with the other coaches and being able to connect with you and saying us talking the way we do. When it's basketball season, we probably talk every day.
Yeah.
And it's not always about the kids. Sometimes it's about, boy, this parent got me this, or man, I'm just, my day just, my mentally, I'm just not in a good space right now. You know what I'm saying? So just having those connections and building those relationships with the people around you, and the village don't stop. When you become an adult, you still need your village. So
Facts. Yeah.
continuing to have your village that gets you through those days.
Man, I know for me as a coach, probably the hardest thing I struggled with mentally was like the parents. And I'm just having a moment of transparency. I love easy. You get what I'm saying? So when I build a relationship with a child, I build a relationship with the parent. And for some of these parents, it's just business. So they can't understand where you coming from. So they don't. A lot of parents just want to win. They just want trophies on top of trophies. But they don't understand we really genuinely do this for the love, especially with the girls that we coach. We don't go looking for all-stars and try to go from major city to major city to win. It's not just a business for us.
Right.
We're actually taking time out of our schedule. My kids suffer sometime behind this. So when you actually building a young lady up or a young man up from scratch, and you invest in everything you have in them.
Ladies, make sure y'all get a pair of these. My eyes not itching. They're 100% plant-based and vegan, okay? I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah, I think for me, the hardest thing as a coach dealing with mental health is like dealing with the parents. Just being transparent. I love easy, so when you actually invest in everything that you got, your free time, your knowledge, and you growing, and you actually talking to these kids and connecting with them, the lines get blurry because you no longer see them just as a player. So it's like when you got parents who just bring in, kids over here and they got these expectations of winning, and that's cool. We all want to be winners,
right?
Or they just want trophies on top of trophies, but that's not your goal. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Or we're not even looking for all stars to start going to major cities and winning trophies because we actually enjoy coaching. So when you actually building a young lady or just a young man or just an athlete period from scratch, and you having these conversations with them and you teaching them and helping them with their insecurities, their weaknesses, and you're building them, and they coming to you from an innocent standpoint. They basically they're an athlete at their most innocent form.
Right.
They don't have an ego, an attitude, like as if you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, like I know everything.
They're at their most vulnerable state. So you see them for that. And you actually, it's like you kind of raising them to a certain extent. So when you have that connection with your player and you just giving them everything. Like my kids suffer sometimes for the time that I give to this organization. Right. So it's like when you and the parent are on the same page and they get mad because you didn't win a tournament or you set their child or, just little things like that or just whatever in general, it's like, bro, we here for the kids. Like we taught your child and made them better. And we didn't help them transition from this back to school by a better player and helping them get to the next level. And it's like you judging and you all in our ear because you feel like we should have did this. We not ready for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're causing a disruption. Sometimes, like you said, it's more the trust than just saying I trust you.
Right.
Like you got to understand, like when you learn and know the character of your coaches and you know that every decision we made won't be personal, we don't beef with kids. we don't hold nothing against kids. We know you don't have a car.
Right.
We know you didn't make these decisions. So whatever decision we make for a child, it was from the best place possible. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, cause we're here to teach these kids lessons. It's bigger than basketball with us.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I think for me, the biggest struggle with coping is the parents. They get mad. Like, you know, every year we lose a couple of players, but we do keep our core together because then maybe they had more expectation. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? But every player we ever lost, they always come back and say, I'm the star of my team now.
Right.
Or da-da-da. So you still have joy, but it's like, man, just imagine what you could have done if you had stayed with us. But I just feel like it go back to what we were saying about having that good relationship with the parent. When you have understanding parents and they understand how to adjust their expectations, because they'll tell you all that, oh yeah, I understand, and then they want to get mad and switch up on you, and then it's like you done lost a player that you actually built from level 2, level 3. Like I said, it's one thing to lose a player that you recruited that was already made, and you didn't really know nothing about him. You just had the pleasure of coaching him. And they go, you gonna miss them. Right. But it's like but like I said, when you didn't actually have a player invested in them and built them from their most vulnerable state when they were just really like an empty canvas. Or when they came to you, they were just doing, they were still, you get what I'm saying? They couldn't shoot layup. Yeah. And it's like, man, this love different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't like that. You know, that weighs heavy on me because it's a lot of girls who I wish we still had. But they parents was the issue. Yeah.
No, I agree. I feel like in most situations where it's a battle or like a mental struggle, a mental struggle is normally because the parent has a issue that they couldn't move their ego out of the way to get past. It's typically not even the kid. And when we see the kid, I think it's sometimes like I said, we go to these high school, middle school games, and sometimes we see these kids we coach, and I think sometimes it put them in a place, and it's like, oh, do I go up and talk to Coach Drew or Coach E, knowing I want to and knowing all the other kids
and that'd be crazy.
And you putting the kids in a messed up situation where they have to choose and they feel left out, and it's just like, if it was up to me, I would walk up and give you a hug, baby. Fact. But I'm not going to make you uncomfortable or put you in a position at home where that becomes a problem. Yeah. So a lot of times when it's a mental struggle, it's just like, if only the parents could let go of their ego and really be about their kids the way we are. Like, we're really about the kids. We really want to see these kids grow. Fact. And I think it really bothers me when you have parents that they're not realistic about the kid expectations. So you have these expectations for your child, and you putting all this pressure on your child. Mentally, that's putting your kid in a messed up place on the court because they have pressures to accomplish things that's not even
feasible right now.
Yeah, it's not even in my bag. Like, you want me to do a behind the back spin move, crossover, and dunk. I can barely do a layup with my right hand. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you put the mental pressure on your child on the court, and then you pull them from the team or you pull them from the organization, and then they go somewhere else, and we see them have the same struggles. Yeah. And it's like a constant repeated thing that you putting your kid through.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I made a status not too long ago about I'm proud of you as a coach and the things that you accomplished, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't really, only credit I want is the credit of the organization. I give you all the credit you deserve because I just help you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Like, but my point is like, I done watch every girl we touch, especially that done came through like your system, and they actually show like quick signs of progress. Like, I seen some girls who left our program, like the last term, I was like, well, you know, we might get them back next year. We'll work on it. And then they pop up a month later at school, and you like, yeah, that really helped you? So it's like, I just, man, it just blows my mind how parents can really just turn on the coach and don't appreciate nothing you do. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never really understand it, and I do feel like that do kind of put some pressure on the coach, because it's like, you doing everything you can to keep the child. to keep the child like because you are invested.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it will kind of put pressure on you to make certain adjustments, not necessarily to accommodate the parent, but you don't want to lose a child. So it's like that can be a mental health thing for you because, like I said, I'm watching girls who we touch, and I'm saying they went from literally not even making the team to now you're the star player of the team. So I do feel like the parent aspect can, be a mental health thing towards the coach because, like I said, it's not just business for us.
No, it definitely can be, and it has been. Just in my own personal experience coaching, it's been a time where I was just like, you know what, this you can have the program. I'm not able to please because you try to please the parents, and then they have an issue with that. Whatever you do to correct whatever issue they had before. So it just gets to a point where you're continuously correcting and overcorrecting to a point where you're not even able to coach the kids to.
You kind of lose yourself as a coach.
Right. Like, I'm not even who I am. Like, I have to sit here and be quiet during the game, and now your kid don't know how to respond to me being quiet, but this was something you said was a problem.
Yeah.
But now your child has to adjust to that. And so it gets to a point where I think as a coach, you have to say, you know what, this is how I coach.
Facts.
And this is who I am as a coach. And I will adjust what I need to adjust when I need to adjust it. But at the base of who I am, this is how I coach. Yeah. And if this style of coaching isn't the style for your child, then maybe we should talk about other options for where your child can fit. And I think that's the thing that keep me in a good place mentally is that I haven't had a kid yet that I haven't seen improvement in.
That's a fact.
When they go back to school, and it's been times where during the summer, their parents like, I don't see it, and I'm just steady like, they doing it, it's working, and then they go back to school ball, and the parents like, Coach Drew,
this is crazy.
It's a big difference. Like she shooting threes, she confident, she the point guard, she lead, like it's like that. So, and that's not even in a cocky way, and I say that as humble as possible. That as a coach, that keep me in a good place, and I know that my intentions are pure. Yeah. And where I come from with these kids are pure. It's only to help improve and encourage. And like I said, I haven't had one parent or one kid come back and not give me a success story in the following school year. Yeah. So, in the words of Coach Red, let's take a pivot and let's take the time to like you wanna spotlight some of some school ballers. Yeah, most definitely. We can spotlight some school ball players. So as coaches, we've been going to a few games, and let's take the time to acknowledge and recognize some of our star hoopers. So like last week, we went to East End and Maumelle Charter. Mm-hmm. You got there before me, so you got some key names that you want to bring up? Yeah, I got to watch the end of the game and just I got a little feedback from a couple of parents that I know that was watching the whole game in the stands. One of my old babies, Ava did her thing for Maumelle Charter. From what I heard from some of the parents, she was able to keep them in the game for the most part. I think I don't remember Maumelle. Do you remember if Maumelle lost or what? I think Maumelle lost by 3 points in that game. It was a close game for the girls though. But I did hear that my girl Ava did her thing. So shout out to Ava. Maumelle Charter. Maumelle Charter, yeah. East End, they got the point guard, Chrislyn Bryan over there. Mm-hmm. She's a spectacular talent. Dribbling skills is crazy. She can shoot the 3-ball pretty good. She's most definitely something that coaches got to key in on. So she brings a lot to that 8th grade team over there. The varsity game, the boys was pretty much the highlight for me. Yeah. East End, they have number athletes over there. Oh yeah. They played a pretty good. They played a 3-2. They brought the big up high. Mm-hmm. He was pretty athletic. He can shift his feet. I'm sorry. Number 0. That boy, he covered the whole floor. Like his ability to read the passing lane Right.
He was able to hit some big shots down the stretch. I mean, number 0 from our East End. He was a bad boy. But I do want to take the time to acknowledge my male charter point guard, and they had a good system over there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. My male charter really. I was really shocked by how tight the game was. Just staying with them the whole time. It was a really close game.
That he killed them though.
Yeah, it was a hot gym.
It wasn't no air
yeah, it
conditioning.
was a hot gym, but those boys, they really showed heart on both teams, just
Thanks.
battling consistently from beginning to end. Honestly, they battled the whole game. So.
Yeah.
I think my male charter had one of the guards go down the beginning of the fourth quarter. They kind of hurt them in the game. One of the guards kind of I think he had a cramp in his leg. It took him about half of the quarter to recover, and then towards the end he still wasn't fully recovered. So that's another thing. Just make sure y'all taking care of y'all bodies, because those cramps, they will catch up to you if you're not drinking water, hydrating. Stay hydrated, but that was just an all-around good game altogether. My male charter, I was super impressed with what they came with on the boys' side.
Seven Hills.
Silver Hills. I got a special place in my heart for Silver Hills. That's
Hill.
where most of my babies go.
Yeah,
so.
Coach Sakina Strickland and Coach Hill over there.
Yeah, they're doing great things with that program, the girls program.
Let's talk about that A grade game.
Yeah.
Seven Hills played Mills, and Mills got one of our very own, Caden Shelton over there. She showed a lot of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
She's controlling the flow of the game. Her confidence is up to the roof right now. She's dribbling the ball. She's a floor general out there right now.
Right.
But they did fall short to the A grade Seven Hill Bears, which features some of our very own players. Anaya, who plays in the post, she did an excellent job of maintaining the paint on defense. Made some great offensive plays. I seen the power moves she was making.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of Anaya.
Anaya, she's improved
Tremendously.
Tremendous improvement from last year watching her play to summer ball, and then seeing her back on the floor again during school ball this year. Tremendous improvement by Anaya. McCassidy.
Yeah.
Defensively, this girl's crazy, crazy defensive player. Like, she one of them players that gonna get on your nerves, in your face, in your grill the whole time from start to finish.
Very aggressive.
Also, she's the point guard for the team, so that was a great improvement for her. Just knowing skill level where she come from.
And if I'm not wrong, I think and this is not no slight of her. This is speaking on her improvement. She came off the bench last year for Seven Hills, and for her to go from the bench to starting point guard. You know, some people come off as a starting two. You might can't dribble, but she came off the bench, and now she's a starting point guard. That
just
speaks
even
volume.
speaking to where she came from during our program during the summer. McCassidy came from our 7th grade team, playing on the 7th grade team as a starter, and eventually worked her way up to playing for our 8th grade girls
team.
Do that.
So last year when she was still 7th grade.
Yeah, still 7th grade. After a few games, she worked her way up. So one thing I know about McCassidy, she gonna work hard. So anybody get their hands on her, able to work with that young lady, she gonna give you 110 every time. So I'm very, very proud and impressed with that. Layla, hey.
Yeah.
How many points she had? 16 points out of the game?
Something like 16, 18, yeah.
Layla did her thing
She doing something new, playing off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
A new position for her, so not having the stress of dribbling down the court and make the plays, she's able to come off the pass and make big plays.
That's a fact. Yeah. I mean, she showed a lot of signs of improvement, playing up every year.
All around player too. 1 through 5 can give you all positions. Shoot the ball off the dribble. Can drive to the basket. Catch and shoot. Got a few post moves on the.
Facts.
Yeah. So all around decent players.
I ain't gonna say where she gets it from, but you know. let's go to no, Abby.
Abby.
Yeah.
Abby was our point guard last year during the summer ball.
Yeah,
So.
and she, man, hey, I remember Abby's always been a solid basketball player, but her confidence, or just her feeling comfortable going out there and just playing freely, didn't really start to come out into the last 2 tournaments. And my last memory of, far as basketball, Abby was that last tournament we had. And, man, she came out.
Yeah, I think what I enjoy most about watching Abby play is watching her get to a space where she just gonna go in there and get it. Like, once she decides, hey, I'm just gonna put the team on my back, or I'm just gonna, I want this. She gonna go in there and get it, and she gonna take the foul, the contact. She not scared of the contact, which is a huge improvement from the beginning of the season last summer. So. It's exciting watching Abby play and seeing her growth and how she's developed as a player.
Yeah, and it's really showing on that team this year. They actually have a solid core over there. Let's talk ninth grade.
Ninth grade girls,
which was our 8th grade girls last year. Let's start with Nia. We don't want to say no last name. So.
Absolutely. Nia, me and Nia, we get into it a lot with her not shooting that basketball, but Nia is a great shooter, a great defensive player. I think she finished that last game this week with 10 points in the game.
Yesterday, 10
Yesterday,
points,
she had 10 points against East End. Against East End. So Nia's a great shooter. She have her issues with her confidence, but we still working on that.
Yeah.
Once Nia get out of her head, and when she get to going, I'm telling you, don't leave her open, because she gonna shoot your eyes out for real.
Now, I remember last night, she was catching that ball, shooting it in the paint, taking the mid-range jumper. Like, hey, I'm talking about this is a
I don't
totally
want to take the credit, but we had a little talk, and I told her I wanted to get at least 1 3 out of the game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think she shot the ball a little bit better yesterday.
And I think she had a good game against Mills too.
Yeah,
what was
she
that,
did.
Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So last night she performed well against East End, and Monday she performed well against Mills. Let's talk about Jason.
JC.
All around athlete, just like Nia, but JC, she plays sports that you be like, you play that too? Like, all around athlete.
Yeah, and I think she was playing a little under weather. Her mama told us on Monday. So, JC just a crazy, insane defensive player.
Man.
Long, lanky,
quick.
Yes, fast. Like, if you need somebody to get up and down the court, JC that player. And she finished the game yesterday with, let's see,
7 points.
7 points.
On 3 for 4 shooting and 50% 3-point shooting.
Yeah, so JC had a pretty decent game.
Only
as well.
playing one half, I believe.
Yeah.
She only played one half. So that's crazy.
Yeah. JC nice. JC also shoot the ball. JC looks strong. She's strong, so once she get her strength under control, she'll be a much better shooter. But she also shoot that basketball, and she gonna go in there and get some rebounds as well. So. And
she also played well Monday night against Mills.
Mm-hmm.
She had a good game.
She's somebody to watch on the defensive end for sure. Like, just like I said with McCassidy, JC is one of those players that once she get locked in on you defensively, she gonna make it happen.
Because that track, she got that track speed.
Mm-hmm. Track, soccer, everything.
Now I gotta give my girl Kamari a big shout out, because her defensive presence in the paint is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Kamari, she's built like a D1 player for her age right now. I don't know if she'll stop growing. I don't know. But right now she's on track of being a D1, but looking, at least a D2 type build. And just her confidence is tremendously, just skyrocketed. And just the way she's sliding her feet, she can control the paint. And even with her layups and catching the ball, like, man, I'm proud of Kamari. Seven Hills 9th grade team is a solid team.
Yeah.
That division a conference is gonna have to respect and acknowledge.
100%, especially Kamari in the paint. I don't see another post player being able to come from the free throw line, being able to handle the ball, dribble the way she is. She's not scared to shoot on the outside either, so she'll take the shots on the outside too. But just being able as a big to catch the ball and get to the basket as quick as she can. Like, it's not even a slow get to the basket. Like, she gonna get to the basket and being able to use her body to get there and go up and take shots in the paint when you got 3 people around you. So that's pretty impressive. So shout out to Kamari doing her thing, holding it down in the paint.
So anything you want to close out with?
Just closing out.
If you just had to look in the camera right now and say,
man, you crazy. Just wanted to say, like, we enjoy y'all watching us. This episode was just about strengthening ourselves as coaches, as players, as parents, mentally, and being in a great place and understanding that in order for us to all thrive and be successful, we got to find our village. We got to have a village, and you got to lean on each other. And other than that, it's not going to work if we can't find a common ground or a common middle where I hold you up when you down, you hold me up when I'm down, and it's an even exchange and a nice balance, and understand that everything we do, it gotta have these kids in the forefront of it. So that's just what our program is about. That's what we stand on, and we wish y'all the best and love and peace and happiness and all that. So yeah, we out.
I guess it's my turn. Brittany, we love you.
Absolutely.
We're praying for you. Like Coach Drew said, we appreciate y'all tuning in, watching us. We're gonna have weekly updates. We got many more episodes coming. This gonna be a continuous thing. You can most definitely find us at games near you. We'll be posting updates of what games we'll be in. We'll be having footage of certain athletes, superstar athletes, and just trying to bring spotlight back to Arkansas basketball as a whole. If I had to close out by saying anything, parents, it's very important to develop a relationship with your coaches. It's also very important to sit down and truly do some soul searching on what the expectations should be for your child, and coming to a realization of whether your child is where they are from a skills standpoint to just anything. So I always take the time to build a relationship with your coach and have that true, have that conversation with them. Ask them certain things. It's going to be some things you don't want to hear. There's going to be some things that you need to hear. But in order for a program to work successfully, for your coach to get the best out your coach and your child, and even at yourself, there has to be a relationship there. So just, as coaches, we're going to do better to build it, and parents, we ask the same of you, because at the end of the day, we're not just coaching your child. We actually love your child. Mm-hmm. So just take that in consideration and think about the things that we go through, and we'll take the time to take in consideration the things that you go through, and just find a way that we can work together. Coach Drew, hey.
Hey, Drew. Drop any kind of comments, any questions you got for us about the organization, topics you want us to go over. Just drop that down in the comment section. And we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And prayers for Brittany Griner and her family as they go through this ordeal in Russia. And we hope she get home safe soon.
If you like to make donations to the Arkansas Bulldogs, please feel free to cash app us at $ARKBULLDAWGZ. That's $ARKBULLDAWGZ. We'll have it in the description also. But like Coach Drew said, thank you for tuning in. Hey, this Coach E.
Yeah, and I'm Coach Drew. And we out.
Peace. Open Runs and Talk, brought to you by The Studio.